Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. We are listening to the Necopara soundtrack, actually. Let me see, yeah, this is the full Necopara OST. I don't know if this is just for, I think it's just for the Japanime that came out this year, not the actual games, but it's in Roche, it's close enough. So, what are we working on today? We're working on Monster Girl Adventure, obviously, and we may be able to wrap things up fully. We look at the tasks here. All we have are Fiends, Prometheans left. Those are our only two. And before we begin, obviously we're going to go to TG and we're going to open up Monster Girl in general just to make sure in case we have to ask any questions. Monster, hello. And look, the current big question going on is what if you put Half-Life, the Monster Girls in Half-Life, and the answer is nothing. Nothing occurs. It becomes a big old nightmare. So, we got that open. So we're going to be working on Prometheans and Fiends. Also looks like we have two people here. Looks like we have an anonymous chipmunk and an anonymous jackalope. God help us all. The jackalopes are here. Let me just do a double check on everything to make sure everything works properly. Cuckoo choo choo. So, our first one we're going to be working on are actually Prometheans. And what are Prometheans, you may ask? Well, a Promethean is, by all intents and purposes, a better person. It's like a person too, Electric Boogaloo. Now, you may be wondering, where's the lore on them? Well, the lore is on a Promethean guy, and I don't know, pretty much. So I'm going to be kind of winging it. Let's see, actually. We've almost hit bump limit, so I'm going to actually just post. Is Promethean guy here? I just want to get the full list of different kinds of Prometheans, just to make sure everything is the way it should be. Thanks. Different. No, different. God damn it. Different kinds. Let's make sure. Let's choose ourselves a file. We're going to make a nice, pretty one. Now, hopefully we get a relatively quick response from this, because I know there's at least 2 or 3 different kinds. Also, this is from something in the Phantom World. I've actually never watched it. I've definitely seen material on it. I can guarantee you that much. Absolutely nothing else about it, but I've definitely seen things on it. Things. Wipes forehead. But alright, so we're going to be working on Prometheans. Where are Prometheans going to go? Prometheans are going to go in the... I'm being deafened by this fucking soundtrack. Holy shit, this is loud. There we go. There we are. Is it coming through still? Yeah, this... Yeah, now, I have it actually reduced in sound for OBS. Like, here it's just, like, deafening me here a bit, so... Pardon that. So we want to go to, most likely I'm going to put them after Heroes, but before Ultimate Destiny, so they're going to go right about here. So, I'm just going to double check how to spell this. Promethean. Because I have a feeling I'm going to misspell it a plethora of times. I just want to make sure. Promethean. How have I been? Rising above the rabble. Among humanity's finest, among humanity, there is the holy failsafe, being the Promethean. While relatively rare and in short supply, the Promethean individual powered by faith and the chief god's loving energy, burning with hatred toward Mamano, burning with hatred toward Mamano. Promethean is a step up from the normal human form, allowing them to fight the Mamano toe to toe without having to compromise, without having, rather than relying on sheer numbers or devious tactics. The trade-off is that Prometheans are, for lack of a better word, a bit straightforward. Well, the average human can be expected to perform their goals to the utmost efficiency. A skill, a Promethean single-minded approach to problems makes the ability to form relationships with others very difficult. Actually, other non-Prometheans very difficult. They are a cut above normal humanity, but being a cut above has cut off a certain aspect of it. So, mechanically speaking, what's going to happen is that Prometheans are going to get the basic human setup. So if we look here at humans, they're going to get, effectively, right off the bat, +5 skills. Just want to make sure. So, when creating Promethean, the character must be human. Must be uncorrupted and be human. Oh God. The character must be uncorrupted and be human. From there, they receive a series of attribute increases and special abilities related to their chosen field as a Promethean. So, on average, if we go all the way down here, we're going to scroll all the way up here. Oof. So we're going to say creating a Prometheus. Hello, phone. How are you? What do you need? What do you want? And am I on fire? Oh, God. Come on. Come on, shoulders. Also creating a Promethean +5 skill points. Broken their own limits, allowing them to fight, act, and craft on par with the best of humanity. Let's see. I say legend, hair movement. See, now I have to try to find information on that because he has different types of them. I thought there was oh, what the fuck? You think I would have everything set up here, but I did, but I just want to make sure everything's correct. Of course, nobody saves anything. That's the double amusing part with this entire thing is that no one saves jack shit. Because no one saves jack shit, I end up having to search through things, about 5 different threads to make sure. You see how much like this guy, like how much they're mentioned. This is 40 times it's been mentioned, and admittedly a few of them are because of me, but it's just like. I just want a list of things at this point. You know, I'm actually gonna Google it. We'll see Prometheans Monster Girl. Let's see if. Oh, this is a good. Oh, it's a Halo fanfic. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Let's. Jesus Christmas Christ, everyone. We got nothing really to work with here. Awesome. Cool. Neato. Okay, let's. Well, I guess let's get the basic gist of things, how they want things to be. So let's get the basics done. So They're going to have Incorruptible right off the bat. Incorruptible. Let's see what... They're going to get that. Refusal to Fall. And effectively, they're going to get a very reduced number of heroic traits. But instead of getting a solid amount, they're just going to get a Promethean type. This is just what I'm going to use for now. They're just going to get 3 of these. Oh, damn it. Just going to get 3 of these right off the bat. But the thing is, they don't get anything else. That's the... Because it's weird, because Prometheans are like they're enhanced humans. Again, that like this, apply that as the basic, gist of it. They are enhanced humans, but they also, it went from enhanced humans rapidly to they're supermen of all calibers, but I want to keep them as relatively human, by just better humans, if that makes any goddamn sense. Okay, so let's do font. I'm gonna reduce the font down a little bit, just so a little bit harder to read. But why are you all the way up there? Go down here. So let's see. Promethean type. I don't believe magicians are a thing, but clerics +2 bravado, endurance, refusal, yeah, no, 3. Effectively, the cleric Promethean type is all about healing with a lot of bravado. +2 reflexes. And then just a trick or skill monkey. I'm gonna go skill monkey. It's not their specific thing, but their idea is that they can do a lot. They are the ones doing a lot of things. So we'll do bard. They're going to get that. +2 scholar. So Prometheans, divinity. Promethean's corruption is not corruption in the traditional sense. It is instead their innate divinity shining through. As a Promethean grows in power, oftentimes their divine nature corrupts their own mind. Their mind distancing themselves further than the average mortal. A Promethean may use their corruption like a corrupted race, but the same rules for being consumed by it also apply. I need one more. We got anything yet? Nope. Bod Bravado Reflexes Scholar. I'm gonna probably no, I don't really need that anymore, I don't think. No, I think this works. It's not a perfect setup, but it'll work for now. That's really all I'm looking for, is kind of the stopgap in between everything, so Prometheans, the next stage of humanity, the holy failsafe, difficult when creating a Promethean. Uncorruptible. Fall. Ability to resist the temptations of demonic energy. Holy and blessed, corrupted by their own saintly nature. Detached. Would empathy be the right word? Yeah, that's the right word. Empathy. A Promethean. You only have up to 3 strings with any character. It Except other Prometheans. Being far above mortal expectations makes a Promethean someone difficult to get along with, but even more difficult to understand. Ranger. I feel like I should have another one. Let me see if this works. God, I hope so. Oh, thank God. Okay. Also, are these canon at all, Promethean-wise? Fuck no. These things are so far from canon, it's actually kind of insane. It's... One could argue... I really don't need to put these in, but... I feel like I should. I feel like I should, by just the nature of it, because Promethean add-on's been a pretty active part of the thread, and it's like, you know what, I may as well. I mean, it's... I've added stuff from the other guy. I've added enough from him, so I may as well give this guy a little bit of something. I am going to be adding Fiends after this, though, so... Okay, so this is what I'm going to use as of right now for Prometheans. It isn't the perfect setup, but it's something. You may be thinking, well, I just, copy-paste from other... Well, yeah, but I'm not... I also don't really have much to work with. I thought he had a paste bin up, but he does not. Oh, Jesus. Oh god, the fucking fan fiction. The fucking fan fiction. God fucking damn it. I actually very much... This is one thing I actually dislike about the threads, if you kind of see here. It's devolving slightly into fan fiction at some points. It's just like, guys, this isn't world building at this point. This is you writing fan fiction about your super special, awesome OC monster who's super cool and cooler than everyone else's, mind you. It's kindergarten here, you know. It's like, well, my monster's better than your monster. Well, why is your monster better than my monster? Because I have an anti-everything. Well, I have the anti-everything shield. It becomes this, you know, a slap fight between the two. Everyone's trying to, like, one-up each other. It's like, oh, Jesus. More hellhounds. God, fucking hellhounds. Alright, cool. So, what are fiends? Beasts. Pigers. But have mutated, changed, or any variation. To allow them to devour demonic energy and sustain themselves. Fiend is a natural predator of those corrupted, whether by choice or by birth. Fiends would best be described as hunter-esque. A creature solely designed to hunt, find, and ultimately destroy those who possess the taint of demonic energy for their own needs. I was like trying to figure out where the hell everyone is. When deciding to play a fiend, there are a few things to note. First off is that fiends do not naturally become corrupted. Being able to consume the demonic energy with ease, they are able to mitigate the most damaging effects of the Demon Lord's influence. However, A separate type of corruption affects them. Hunger. Like a starving animal. A fiend needs to eat. And being denied their meal is a way to have them go berserk. Fighting, killing, and eating anything in their way. Creating a fiend character. Choose a uncorrupted race. And they're going to get detached empathy. Any character, except they're not going to get the fiends. Some fiends have a relatively detached sense of empathy and morality. Hunger and the desire to consume often replace emotions and empathy. My. Fear. A fiend. Uncomfortable. And the terror around them. Creeping into skins of nearby individuals. Fiend reduces the willpower of all nearby characters by 1. And by their bravado. Actually, I should. A Promethean is not adherent to the Uncorrupted cap on attributes. Promethean is beyond human. Beyond mortal, even. Okay, perfect. So, hunter-killer instinct. Fiend is driven by an innate desire to consume and destroy. Fiend gains +1. That's 1d6 for every 2 points of corruption. A target possesses. Footnote. On average, this mono have around 3 to 6. So roughly you're going to get 1 to 3 bonus on. Hunger is driven by their hunger. Fiend may kill the target and consume their core to reduce their own core by the amount. Fiend's core attribute increases by 1 every day they have not fed. They will be rendered unplayable when the core attribute exceeds their highest attribute. So with fiends, you are constantly needing to feed. You need to go hunting. You need to fight monster girls. Because if you're not fighting people who are even corrupted a little bit, you're not going to survive very long. Because you're going to go insane from this hunger. Like, you need to eat. You need to fight. And you can't stop fighting. And you're good at it, but you can't stop. It's awful. So... a friend? This is the natural predator of this. No, I don't want to select friend. Ultimately, separate. Have choose an uncorrupted race. Effectively, why you are choosing a fiend is to get... You want it for this. This is the thing that you get this for, because it is very good and very strong. You don't get anything bonus, really. You just get, the hunter-killer instinct, which can really turn the tide of fight, because you might be adding upwards of 4 dice to every single one of your combat rolls against the creature, which is very good in case you haven't realized how the nature of the combat works too. Even an extra die could mean the difference between a lot of damage and not that much, especially if you are in melee. Alright. Okay, so we've added fiends, we've added Prometheans. Okay. Well, actually, with that, I think we are done. We've added everything that we went to add, in one way or another. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jack this out to 100%. We're just going to do a once-over now. And the once-over is exactly as it sounds. We're just going to go over this once just to make sure everything looks the way it should. And then we'll call it there. And then we'll move on to the next project. We still haven't gotten anything from Promethean on here. And there's nothing we can really do about that. But here we go. Oh, Jesus. Our goddamn table of contents is 4 pages long. It's great. let's see. Oh, let me see. I'm just going to redo this part. Attributes represents a character's innate talents and abilities. For the Uncorrupted, these have a for the Uncorrupted, these range from 0 to 5. 0 being excessively poor, and 5 being peak performance. For the Corrupted, these range from 0 to as high as possible. No limits, with the Corrupted being able to exceed human limits, mortal limits. And we're going to slap that right there. See, this is why we go through and just double check everything, because you run into things like that which deserve to get fixed. All right. Sort of paragraphs, A to Z. This is literally what we're going to do. It's going to be nice and pretty. Then, in case you haven't realized, I'm trying to wait for this, in case we got something wrong. But, let's see. There we go. Willpower acts as a method for characters to resist temptation, both flesh, honeyed words, and the alluring gaze of lovers. Well, that's one beer down. On number 2. That's some good shit. It's kind of a quiet song, so I can bust it up a little bit. I still don't like this, but how I plan on doing it, how I would do it if I wanted to make it pretty, is pretty much each of these would get its own page and be a little bit more, and this would be humans, all the stats and stuff, picture. Dwarves, all the stats and stuff, picture. It would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, rather than this setup, which this is kind of a compromise, you could say. I really wanted to. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to try to... Hello, dwarf. Or if you're gonna go rat. There you go. Pff. 1/8 margin. We'll go with 1/8 margin as well, just to keep. I'll try to keep that relatively. Okay, yeah, there we go. I think that works. There, reclusive nature. Let's see. Beast women. Demonic. Dragons. Transformation wings. Elemental affinity. Yeah, darkness, right? Okay, so we're gonna fix this section up a little bit. Let's. I have no idea what the fuck was written there, but I don't like it, whatever it was. Moshi Moshi, viewer, how are you? As you can see, we're just working on things. Oh god, Earth. We're working on Degenerate Monster Girl RPGs. We've wrapped up quite a bit of things as of right now. Right now, we are in kind of that weird spot where we are cleaning up the document, actually, and trying to make things nice, pretty, and right in the world. Fire, ice, light, water, wind. Yep, everything's set up there, and diversification. Look at QT 3.14 anime girls. Hi, fairies. The Almanoids are smaller and weaker cousins of the British Orc. They have tiny village system built up in And in case you're wondering what we're listening to, we are listening to the Necopara soundtrack, because I've lost all sense of common decency. Please help. Let's see, Hoppy is high undead. Sectoids, low undead. If I were to split low undead, I would probably have to do zombies versus ghosts, or something similar to that, but that seems like a lot of... Neither are comprehensive enough to make it their own race, so I had to kind of put them together, but they don't kind of work together as their own thing, so... A's to B's, crossing T's, dotting I's. We have Chris Hansen here, dealing with Lolly Wizards. Ythians. Good old parasites. Parasites. Plantoids, Sardian, Reptilians, Lamia. Okay, so we got magic and hard numbers. This section we went through pretty extensively. Here's the counter list. Half their partner's corruption to a minimum of 1 rounded up every time they have sex. Consumption of spirit energy. Gain their partner's corruption to a minimum of 1 rounded up every time they have sex. Wait a second, I should put a note somewhere. Let's see. Is losing this core themselves. There is with the high satchel, they have gone over the edge. Reduce their corruption by being in a relationship. Effectively offsetting part of their corruption to their partner. There we go. I've been wondering how to fix that. I think that's going to be a good way to fix that particular issue. Space distance. Should actually add a picture here, but I also don't want to because it's going to inevitably get eaten. This one's sort of throbbing. Villains, overlords. Minions and swarms. Good old mega monsters. No attacks. They can rampage. Equipment. Melee weapons. Gauntlet, halberd, long axe, spear, stiletto, sword, warhammers. Ranged weapons. I could probably add more things here, but I don't really want to because I feel that's just going to bog things down. Ranged weapons, because you would have to add things like slings, and slings aren't really. I guess I could add it. But you don't really use static in the way they grow and develop. Sometimes quite literally. Skills and abilities. Okay, monsterization. We didn't really go over this. There will come a point, corruption boil. The limit of corruption, they monsterize. They take all the corruption they built up to a minimum of 1, convert to EXP to spend on their corrupted character advancements. If a character exceeds their limit, the excess is converted into a new personal skill called Instinct. Cloud monsters intend that corrupts characters thinking in the process. This line's instinct is to capture and multiply, although a dead's instinct may be feed upon energy. Template. Senpai. Senpai, love me! Yeah, there's Monster Girls, Industrial Monster Girls. Is monsterization still a problem? Of course, with the advances in medicine and arcane knowledge, more children survive to adulthood, leading to a population boon of the uncorrupted and corrupted races. The largest problem affecting society is that the outside of prefab buildings and being unable to adapt properly leads to social isolation. Yeah, Shinzo Abe's Nightmare. Space Monster Girls. Firearms are kind of a... They work. There's nothing really more I can say about firearms outside. They work. There's definitely guns. I will definitely say that there are in fact guns. I am for plus 2d6 every round. Heavy. Two hit bonus. Plus 1d6. Minus 1d6. High caliber. Two d6. 1d6. 11d6, yes. D6, 2d6, 6. Kinetic rifle. Why are you so off kilter? Why does it do that? What the fuck? Huh, maybe it's just the way the table's set up. That's kind of weird. Oh, looks like our Nekapara OST is done. Oh no. I don't want to sell online. No, maybe if I don't want to. We're listening to cozy ukulele music, relaxing background Hawaii music for reading dreams and happiness. Even though I'm not dreaming, this is real, unfortunately. There you go. Rise above the rest, heroes. I'm actually going to turn this down to 3 wounds. Sacrificing 3 wounds. Sync attacks to extra. We want to insert a footnote. Any attack made from stealth. Including ambushes. Plus 2d6. Interactions among the Uncorrupted. Issue orders in the name of the party against plus 2d6. Investigation. It's going to bug me as long as it's like that, so let's tweak that a little bit. Can I tweak that? Come on, just a little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. Ugh. Maybe if I move you all the way out here. Yeah, there we go. Welcome to why I don't like Justified, everyone. Instinctual change, boom, paradoxical existence. Sabbath directory and you, making your own Sabbath is fun, undead, things to consider. Things and notes. Love sex and fucking. Love the sweetest poison. Also, true story about this. I did get kidnapped 3 times by my last girlfriend. Not exactly the most graceful story I've ever had, but it's definitely a thing that happens. Gather party, consistency. Fucking the world of Monster Boys. Don't deal with Monster Boys. That's you can clip that. You can do whatever the fuck you want with that. Just don't deal with Monster Boys. Monster Boys are bad. We don't deal with Monster Boys. Maybe you think, I want Monster Boys. I want Monster Boys. You don't. You may think you want Monster Boys, but the problem is, as I kind of explained in that section as well, Monster Girls kind of show a double standard in our own psychology. I don't know, man gets raped by an attractive anime girl. No one cares. However, on the flip side, woman gets raped by an attractive anime boy. Suddenly escalates into no-no territory. We don't like it when we go to no-no territory because that's when bad things happen and people get real weird about it. This goes for both sides. Like, you know, why don't you a graphic description about, you know, rape? in any capacity, and people are going to get real uncomfortable about it. So it's, you can mitigate some of that by being like, oh look, it's a sexy anime girl. There's some mitigation in it. Am I condoning rape? No. Fuck no. You know, rapists are a bunch of fucking weirdos. You know, sex pests that don't deserve it. Don't deserve that thing we called living. But we as a society, and we live in a society, of course, gamers rise up, we're more easily able to, I wouldn't say ignore, but let pass things like female and male rape. We're more willing to realpolitik, reality raping you. Well, that's it. We have successfully ran through the entirety of MGA. We've updated a bunch of things, and you know what time that means. It means we get to go back to our base copy. We're going to hit the tools button. I said we're going to hit the tool. Come on. So in here, at least, we're going to hit the word count. Tools, word count. So overall, we added 20. Looks like about 26 pages. So actually, here, let's make it official. Let's write it down. We'll bump it up even. Bump it up to 26.5. So MGA base copy. We have 98 pages, 22,397 words. So MGA updated copy. We have 124 pages, 27,774 words, coming out to a grand total of, if we open up our handy dandy thing called the calculator. I said if we open up our handy dandy thing called the calculator, well, overall we have a plus 26 pages. How many words do we have? That looks like a little over 5K. So 22397 minus 27,774. Oh, nope, it broke completely again. Okay, so 22397 minus 27,774. Yep, that is plus 5,377 words we have added to Monster Girl Adventures. And you can double check everything right here. That's gonna give me an aneurysm if I keep doing that. But we are done with Monster Girl Adventures. So, congratulations everyone. We made it through this far. This was actually a fairly short project, but I actually spent a lot of time per stream working on it, just because I had a better idea of what I wanted to work on, and I did do some things off stream, just writing the real politics section as well as the reality raping you. They were just little sections. I didn't really need to add too much to them. But overall, we have successfully, I'm stretching in case you can't tell. Oh god, my back. We have successfully added a bunch of things. We've actually done a lot as well. So, what do we move on to next? Well, there's one project that I'm going to start next. It's going to make me a little bit controversial. Yeah, it's still a little bit controversial. So we go to Project Folder Dice. We have all these games. Now, if we were to go strictly off of my little note I made for myself, go all the way down. By technicality, we were to start with Notepad Exalted. That was the goal. Now, we may start with things like standard issue science fiction, where the light fades softly. However, I don't want to do that. Because that's going to be a lot of little things. We're instead going to work on another project. We're going to work on Hearts of Darkness. So, current fix project. Now, what is Hearts of Darkness? Hearts of Darkness is an interesting game. So you see here, these are all my various notes, various side things. So if we go right here, open this up. Excuse me. Here is Hearts of Darkness. The African Warlord Simulator. So, let's erase this. Hearts of Darkness to do. So, Hearts of Darkness is a strange game for a few reasons. The most obvious one is its theme. This isn't about anime girls, this isn't about giant robots, this isn't anything about that. This is a game about role-playing Africa's greatest heroes, villains, beasts. Taking on the role of revolutionaries in your own fucked up African country that's going through civil war. Now, games like this are hard to make because it's very easy to fall into what I call the pull trap. The pull trap is kind of as it sounds. It's a trap where you fall into your own political sphere. And that's kind of how you write the entire game. I'm lucky enough to, I did actually a lot of research on Africa in my college days. And I did a lot of information on them. I learned a lot about Nigeria, because I was like a lot of people probably. All of Africa is warlords, criminals, and murderers. That's all it is. There's no one else there. But no, there's people. And people want things. People are going to do things to get them. Hearts of Darkness is ultimately about that. So, some of the things that we're going to go through. So, our Hearts of Darkness 2D. It's actually based off, it's a 1d10 system based off Cyberpunk 2020. Which has unfortunately lied to us, as it is 2020 and we have got nothing. But it has a card mechanic representing kind of faith and luck in your ability to influence your own role. To do a lot of cool things with it. So, you do have a 10... you do have a 10-sided die, so you have a 10% chance of actually jinxing your roll, which you immediately fail, or you can roll a 10 and your dice explodes. That's kind of the push and pull. However, if you jinx, you get a card, pretty much more juju, and if you roll a 10, that means the dice explodes, and then you get to roll more. So, 10% going either direction, you're good. Let's see. And 40-10... There's actually only 4 attributes, fairly simple, but there is a handful of skills. So, our first priority is cleaning up attributes, skills, mostly just rewriting some things, making sure everything looks the way it should. Cleaning up. Where you're from and who you are. This section is effectively where you are and who you are. I'm probably going to expand this out a little bit more and base it more culturally speaking, rather than you're all from North Africa, therefore this. You're all from West Africa, you all gain this. You're all from X, you gain this. I want to expand it out a little bit. I can probably, I'm not going to go like super hardcore into it, but add things like Central Africa, add things, yeah, just a little bit more stuff, and add a little bit more things when it comes to origins, because as you can see, there's only 4 origins: tribal, urbanite, nomad, and westernized. I want to add a few more things to that. I think that'll be interesting. We also have some things on foreigners. I'm going to be adding some things. Instead of the +2 that all Africans get, they actually get +3. However, they're only able to select one class, which isn't actually that great. Yeah, we're going to clean this up, trust me. So one of the big things we're going to do is we're going to clean up the classes. So, let's see. Clean up lusts. Last soul talisman. Decide on a health system. Because currently I actually have 2 health systems on this game, which is not great, as you can probably obviously tell. Health system 1 is that everything is based off your location where you get shot, while health system 2 is based purely off wounds. And you have a number of wounds you get by your toughness times 2, and every wound you take a -1 to all your rolls. Pretty much you gradually lose more and more, and until, if you take a few wounds, you're effectively a corpse. I will probably go with the arm and leg system, but I don't know. Let's see. Man-to-man bloodbath, maneuver shoot, single shot burst, aim reload. No, we're just gonna do, like, just have a blaze cleanup combat. And this is again mostly just going to be me sitting around and just poking it with reorganize mass combat. This is just literally just me going to be cleaning things up right now. And as you kind of see, it's... yeah, as you can see, this isn't exactly clean and nice and pretty. Oh my god. We want to expand the armory. Expand the gun cabinet. So we have, again, these are just kind of expanded rules. I might just actually what I'm going to do is reorganize the book. Vehicles are actually pretty decent. Like, I don't think it's like, they're not flawless, they're not perfect, but I think they work. So what it's going to be is going to be clean up vehicles. Add more, question mark. I don't know if I'm high or low. Drugs and narcotics. Magic and juju. The escalation of magic and madness. So yeah, this is effectively, this entire project is going to be cleaning up magic / rituals. Orlende. Actually, add in Orlende. And Hayon Honya Taji. Calling about the ones we temporary victory battle, but the twins love war, live so much that treasure across the land and feed their power. And add in an Orlende section. Expand goddesses and their effects. And we're just going to clean up the campaign section. Flag it by Afra. Good old morale. I'm actually going to do cleaning up, keeping the POI system, revamp the POI system, points of interest system, pretty much how the campaign functions. I'm going to clean that up, because I wrote this fairly quickly when it comes to the campaign, and I use like a paint.net, like triangles, circles, and squares. Like, I could probably do better than that. We all together. Add in the optional rules section for every. Yeah, optional rules are exactly kind of as they sound when just adding those in, because they're kind of spread throughout the entire book. And okay. Integrate the expansions. Okay. So here's our goals. These are all of our goals right now. So we're going to copy and paste all of this. We're going to... As you can tell, this is actually a fairly old one. So we're going to delete all this. Copy paste that. Hearts of Darkness to do. We're gonna. That's not what we want. Ariel, we'll make that. We're gonna bump it up. No, I made so many mistakes. We're going to bump it up to 18. Now, one other thing we're going to be doing. That's not what I meant to do. is... Just gonna close that out. I want to pull this up. So, this is what I actually want to add. These are 4 expansions as of right now, based on separate eras and separate conflicts, effectively, and what they plan to introduce to some capacity as kind of their own side projects. And you have Warlord era China, roughly, I think it's late 1800s to the early, you could argue that it's even past the 40s, but roughly you could argue that the Warlord era ended around the 40s, 30s, 40s. The Yugoslav Wars, which obviously took place in the 80s, 90s. Spanish Civil War, which took place right during the end of the 30s, right before World War II. And the Second American Civil War, which never occurred, but it's a kind of a fun revolution that may occur, kind of thing. Kind of the, oh ho ho, we've entered the Second American Revolution, and it's going to be based mostly on the Kaiserreich mod, if you ever played that or heard of that for the Hearts of Iron 4 game. Kaiserreich has one of the major situations there is the Second American Civil War between the Syndicalists, the Union of the United States, the Unionists, the Federalists, and the not the California Free State, the Pacific States. Down with the Sindies, that's all I gotta say. Fuck the Sindies, don't trust them, don't deal with them, kill them all. That's all they deserve, but this is our rough system what we're going to be going off with. And roughly speaking, how do you make crappier guns, new factions, because again, this is going to be fairly early. The entire section on mounted warfare, because you gotta remember, China didn't really have tanks in the Warlord era, they had horses. So I don't really deal with mounted warfare at all, and I kind of want to see, like, okay, this is what happens when you have mounted warfare. What are you mounted on? How do you do it? And the insurrection's a lot smaller but larger in scale. So you may, what this effectively means is saying you may only start with a company of soldiers under your command, but you may expand out to this massive army. It's kind of how you, as a person, decide you want to do it. Or you may be folded into a large army. You may say, we're just going to support the communists, or we're going to support the nationalists. Kind of how you want to handle that. And that's where the ideology shifting comes in. The Yugoslav War is going to pretty much be an entire thing on urban combat. And pretty much it's going to be a series of rules dedicated to the idea of we're going to have to clear building to building, fighting tooth and fucking nail in an urban conflict. And how you're going to die. There's going to be a bloody mess in there. That's kind of the point of it. Notoriety and heroism is going to be kind of your indirect karma system, but it's kind of like public karma. The more war crimes you commit, you're going to increase your notoriety, but the more good things you do, the more heroism is going to be. And you want to kind of balance that out between practicality, because one of the big things about Hearts of Darkness is the compromise between survival, practicality, and victory. Yeah, we don't have food. We're going to have to kill a village to get food. We just have to steal everything they have and hope for the best. For survival. We won't survive the season if we don't. Alternatively, practicality might dictate we gotta burn down the only bridge connecting these two areas together, because if we don't, the enemy is going to overrun this entire area. We can't afford that. But if we burn this down, it's going to kill the economy in the area, absolutely destroy it, and we're all fucked then. But it's get overrun, hopefully deal with the economy later. Finally, victory. We need to kill this man as hard as we can. If we kill him, we cut the head off the snake. We're going to have to march into, a town. We're going to have to march into a refugee camp. We're going to have to do something terrible to do it, though. But it's not all in the name of something positive. We we will end the war by doing something terrible. So Spanish Civil War is Lend-Lease and volunteer forces. Pretty much it's going to expand the faction system a little bit more, where other factions such as Germany or Russia during this time can give you forces that are really good. You just kind of gotta follow what they want you to do, in addition to giving you weapons or giving you supplies. But the more things you get Lend-Lease to, the more volunteers are coming your way. You're being more and more constrained by what they'll do versus what you want to do. And the complete clusterfuck and escalation is effectively turning your Hearts of Iron, not Hearts of Iron, your Hearts of Darkness campaign from, okay, this is a fairly standard good guys, bad guys, to a complete madness house where there's a dozen different factions. Pretty much expanding the faction system quite a bit there. Based off the actually new Hearts of Iron 4 mod, La Resistance, with what happened in the Spanish Civil War there, because Spain's actually my favorite nation to play in the Hearts of Iron. It will always be. I don't care. In any Paradox game, Spain's a blast to play. But pretty much it's you may start here, but you may quickly find yourself in a 7-way civil war between different factions, and everyone wants different things. Everyone's going to fight for different things. It turns into a mess. Finally, the American Civil War is outside of an expanded POI system, expanded legitimacy system. I actually added this later. I added it in a separate document. Is expanded POI is effectively kind of giving each POI a little bit more unique flavor to it. So they might produce multiple things. You might want to recruit different things from it. You might be able to do different things, have different resources, kind of expanding what you want to keep versus what you don't want to keep. The legitimacy system is going to get overhauled quite a bit in that one. Instead of the kind of simple 0 to 10, you are legitimate, you aren't legitimate. The expanded legitimacy system is kind of like, who are you legitimate in the eyes of? Do you control a city? Yes. Are you friends with this faction? Well, of course they're going to recognize you more, and you want, ultimately, the end goal of that kind of campaign is not necessarily to become, the victor is to become the most legitimate and have everyone recognize you as the real government, which is a task unto itself. Finally, combined arms warfare, which is going to delve a little bit more into things like close air support bombing and naval warfare and things that are kind of important, which I don't really deal with any of the others because it's a part of it, but not like big part. Someone's going to inevitably comment, being like, but in the Yugoslav War, but in Spanish Civil War. Yes, I understand, but kind of the more ground level forces, that's what I'm dealing with. When I get to the Second American Civil War system, the combined arms is very much, hey, you can play an ace pilot doing your best to win, or you're playing a tank commander, you're playing an admiral, you're playing different individuals who have their own different way of fighting their war, and how they do it. Because again, it's what happens if your faction needs to take Hawaii. What do? You hope for the best. So, ring-a-ding-ding-ding. Hello. Remind me later, please, phone. So, I'm going to call it there. So thank you all for watching. We have wrapped up Monster Girl Adventures. I will hopefully I might come back to it later, but I'll probably want to do it on stream, as it'll probably be just some minor one-off little fixes that need to get done. But as of right now, thank you all for watching, and I want you all to have a wonderful rest of your day. We've been streaming for about 1:40 now. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on Twitch, leave me a follow. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your time. Goodbye.